Hello everybody, this is Brandon with RPG Overviews, and I'm going to be taking a look at Winterdeath. Now, this is by Marcus Shalta. He sent me this book to take a look at, and he did Baphomet's Son and The Saint of Brookstad, which I did videos on, and I think they're very good. I like his bold colors for his books. His company is called Gazer Press. You can get the PDF of this on DriveThruRPG, as well as you can get, if you go to his website, which I'll have a link, of course, for both of those, if you want to pick up this print version of it. It's very nice and kind of a little tight. It's not as big as his other adventures, which is nice to have something that's not so big. But it's good. I'm going to tell you that right off the bat. I enjoy what I read. Here's the spine here, and it says, the breathtaking race against time is suitable for up to 4 low-level characters for use with Limitations of the Flame Princess and other traditional role-playing games. So what is the gist of this adventure? Which, of course, I'm going to be spoiling here. I don't know if someone's ever been like, oh, I've got to stop watching this video because I'm going to play it. But I like to just say that just to cover myself from somebody not yelling at me later. Of course, they could have just stopped the video once they saw that it was going to spoil stuff. But it's all well and good. An escape game in the 30 Years' War. So that's what this is. So it makes you see this lady here. She's got some sharp teeth. She does play a part into it, but it's not all of it. But really, it's about the winter. The winter is your death. And so what's happened is why the PCs were put in chains. So you start off, you are in chains. You are in a snow-shrouded pass. There are a bunch of Imperial soldiers and the bounty hunters that captured you, as well as a couple other shady travelers in the tap room. There is a soldier's captain, and he has said that you're going to die and hang in the morning. So he throws you down in the cellar with chains, and this could be one of the reasons why. Spies, tomb raiders, thieves, or deserters. Maybe that's not what you did, but that's what they've accused you of, and he has given you his sentence, which is death. So, what are you going to do? You don't have your stuff. It's very cold down in the cellar. It's even colder outside. If you are to escape, you need winter clothing. And that is the goal for this adventure, is to escape with winter clothing so you can endure the terrible cold and snow outside. That's the adventure. It's a very good one, too. So, minor advantages. So, you could possibly, while you're trudging to the inn, you've been captured, you may be able to palm something very small. Maybe it's a little knife or some iron wire. If you make a sleight of hand check, you can get another one. So that's pretty cool. But if you don't have those skills, you're not very good at dexterity. Maybe you've got a good wisdom, and you could observe stuff about the NPCs and your situation around you. Such as the bounty hunters are not under the command of the captain and pursue their own agenda. Maybe their agenda could be your agenda. So that's some stuff that you can kind of work with. This one here, the soldier Franz Knees, I don't know if that's how you say it or not. A man with a torn ear and wild eyes is avoided by the rest of the Imperials. So there's something that they're avoiding him about. They don't like him for some reason. Maybe that could be found out in the adventure. So it's going to tell you about the inn. It's kind of an old inn. It's thick wood and stone and stuff like that. It's been settled, so it doesn't make a whole bunch of noise when you creep through it. Now, characters that are stealthy are going to have a great time in this adventure. They're going to be able to do a bunch of sneaking around because that's what you're going to need. It's going to tell you here about hypothermia and how it's going to pretty much kill you, constitution lost. If you go outside without any winter clothes, you're going to lose a point of constitution every turn until you're dead. If you go into cold water, it's going to do kind of the same thing. And it's going to tell you about how you can heat back up with hot food or being in a warm environment. Very helpful section right there. So how do you survive? This is going to tell you how you're going to try to get out of this place, get the winter clothing, and get out of there. It says the safest route for the PCs is to leave the cellar first and then enter the inn from the outside via the balcony. Well, the balcony is locked, right? Well, no. You've got a person in there named Father Daniel. He's actually... his name is actually Peter Oat. I guess I'm not sure if that's exactly how you say his name. He is an interesting individual right here, Father Daniel. He wants a relic that the captain has. Now, the captain stole it first. He beat him to it pretty much. So he wants that relic. So what he does is, when he's giving you last rites kind of deal, he is going to slip somebody a lockpick. And he's going to tell them that your winter clothing is up in the captain's room. I'm going to unlock the balcony for you. But what he's really trying to do is get you into a melee little combat with the captain, and then maybe he can grab the relic that he has. So he's kind of using you, but it is going to be helpful for you because he's got his own thing going on. So you've got the Granfeld family. They're the ones that are taking care of the inn. You've got the Imperial soldiers, and you've got the bounty hunters. And this is going to tell you what happens should it be known that you have escaped. You're going to fan out, of course. And then you've got Father Daniel. And then here's a great section here on the Imperial troops. They has some good information about who they are. Marcus really brings these characters to life. They are not just cut and dry names with stats. This guy here is the one that's a little bit weird. He's got a head wound, and he has a very dubious history of molesting and murdering 2 sisters, which is terrible. And so that kind of gives you that adult kind of feel, Lamentation of the Flame Princess type thing. But this guy is a real shithead, obviously. But it's neat. I like the fact that he gives you all this information about the NPCs, tries to bring them to life. This guy is pretty much a con artist and a thief, the Peter Oat, the Father Daniel. And he's been hired by Bishop Lutz von Groten to steal the cross. And so that's very interesting. It's a neat little side thing that's going on. And I'll tell you about the cross, the relic later. Here are the 2 bounty hunters that captured you. Some good information about them. And then here is Anna Granfeld. That is going to be the lady on the front. As you can see here, unfortunately, she has become a werewolf. She's also down in the cellar with you. And depending on how you find her, you may have to fight her in her werewolf form. That could be very nasty, obviously. You've got the dad. You've got the daughter. You've got this Lars Triberg here. Now, he is, in essence, he's hunted down as a spy. He tried to assassinate somebody, an Irish officer, Walter Butler, and failed. He was recognized and shot. Now he's on the run. He plans to hide out at his half-brother Granfeld's inn for a few days until he can ride on to reach the Protestant lands beyond the front. How you interact with him also is going to be randomly decided, and it's a neat kind of aspect to the adventure. This Taylor guy here is actually a fanatical disciple of Baphomet. You may be able to use him to some degree, but it doesn't seem, I didn't see really anything that could really help you a whole bunch. But maybe you could go in there into where he is and talk to him and get him on your side. Here's the overview map, inn and surroundings. So you've got the tree you're going to be hung on. Here's the inn. You've got this coal chute, this tool shed, and wine cellar. Now in the beginning, you're going to be in a cellar basement area that's going to have everything you need to know to get to these different places. You can actually exit out of these 3 different areas here. So that's pretty cool. Here's the guest house, the cellar, so you can see here's the coal chute, this is the tool shed, and that's the wine cellar there. There's a neat tunnel underneath these rooms that you can traverse to help you bypass some of it, because the meat cellar is going to have the werewolf in it. Okay, and I'll talk about that when I get to that section. But this tunnel underneath is also very nasty too because it has got freezing water in it, which will really hurt your constitution. So you got your cellar prism. He does the great that I enjoy the bold words for stuff that's important. And he tells you everything. There's a ventilation window, how big it is. Maybe a small, slender type PC could sneak through there. But of course, they're going to be by themselves. And what's outside except for the cruel death of winter and wolves that will try to eat your face. So it's not always great to be out there by yourself, but maybe somebody could do it. And this is going to be an adventure where each group is going to try to do something different, I think. They're going to be looking around the room, looking for stuff to help them, get them out of their situation, which is, of course, them being in chains. And then you get the lockpick from Father Daniel, how you can free yourselves from the chains. They've got that. They're going to be exploring stuff. They make it to the coal cellar, and maybe they're going to see that there's something up with the floor. They dig up the floor, and there's going to be a badly mangled corpse there. It seems to have been buried here for a few weeks. His face and neck are visibly mauled, as if a savage beast had attacked them. So that's interesting. It's going to allude to, obviously, the werewolf lady, who will possibly try to eat you as well. So each room's going to have stuff they're going to probably take and get. They're going to get the oil lamp, or they're going to get an axe from the wood room here, the wood store, where you store wood. So each of these rooms is going to be just look through, can we get through it? Maybe they're going to start looking for secret passages, but this is a very kind of mundane place. This is just a normal type of inn with some interesting characters in it. You can bypass some rooms by going through that flooded tunnel, but you're going to get very, very cold. You can escape out through the tool shed. And so what you're going to want to try to do is get outside, try to find some winter clothing, find some way to get up on top of the balcony. The tool shed might have something. You never know. And here is one of the first things you see that's interesting that I like about it. What lurks outside the shed? So every time you play this game, you can roll something different. So you roll a d6, silence in a pale, cold moon. Maybe there's a human figure. It can be seen about 65 feet away, staring directly at the shed. Maybe the howling of wolves. So every time there's pretty much an NPC on the other side, they may be doing something differently depending on what you roll. I like that a lot. It gives it a lot of replayability. So that's helpful. So here we've got the meat seller. So when you come across her, the moon is full. So if you roll a 1, she's already in her werewolf form. She hides behind the crates and she attacks the first PC entering the room. And then in parentheses, you've got silence. That's whenever you're listening up against the door. Whatever's in parentheses is what you hear. That's very helpful and clever. Thank you for that. So that's good. So she may not have turned already. So you might be able to go past her. You may see that she's hurting or whatever and try to go give her comfort, but then she's going to turn into a werewolf and try to destroy you. So it's interesting that each time that if you run this adventure multiple times, you're going to get possibly different outcomes. I'm certain you will. And then in the wine cellar, you've got that Lars Triberg dude in there too. And now he's got some guns on him. He may try to shoot you right when he sees you. He may be asleep. You'll hear snoring if you listen to the door. Or he may recognize you immediately that you're not Imperial soldiers, and you may be able to negotiate with him. So there's a lot of different things that can change with these NPCs. Here we've got an outside thing here telling you about the different ways to get into the place, such as the balcony door. There is a back door as well that's locked. You've got the wolves outside too. And here we've got our first floor here with the tap room, and the various rooms are going to have, they're going to have, like right here, it's going to say like it's got a winter coat in the tap room hanging on the dry, so there's one of them. So no matter how many PCs you've got, you're going to need to try to get winter coats or the equivalent of a winter coat. Could be like a blanket or something. And then the NPCs are going to be doing something different. Like in the tap room, they might be playing cards, or this guy's kicking a cat, or this guy's sharpening a dagger, and the other guy's in the bathroom. And so this one here, he's throwing a log on the fire while the other guy is getting some fresh cider from the kitchen. So you need to keep up with who is who and where they are. It's not extremely hard to understand, but there's one place where I think the map could give you a little bit more information. Just in general, the maps could have a little bit more information on them. Maybe a legend or something like that tells you which one of these numbers are. So you can print this out and have what number of that room is, but you can also make your own. It was probably the only slight I see in the whole book is that there's room here to label these rooms and make it just a little bit more helpful. And then you're going to have the second floor. So you've got number 23 right there, which is going to be your balcony. And that's how you're going to try to get up. So we'll go over here to the balcony. See the wooden balcony with the sharp icicles hanging from it. The door to the inside of the building is unlocked. And that's what the father did for you. And you'll be able to find a ladder that'll take so you can get up there. And then you'll be able to explore these rooms as well. As you can see here, winter coat. And it's all very good. It's everything's laid out very well. Here's if you go into this room, some stuff might be happening different in that room. Some people might actually be getting it on in this room. Some of the bounty hunters. And then it's not like there's not a perfect way to go about this. And that's where each group of adventurers are going to kind of have to find out themselves how they're going to traverse this place. The military camp that you may be able to get to, and it's going to tell you about that. Talking about the relic, if you're able to get the relic, if you hold it over, you're able to give it over to them. The relic of the cross is supposedly a splinter from one from the true cross in which Jesus died. And again, you're going to roll to see if it actually is it, and if it has any powers. If you do roll the true cross, it's very powerful, and it can keep you alive a little bit after you supposedly have died, and give you big time bonuses against chaotic alignment creatures and foes. So that's pretty much the adventure. So overall, I think it's very cool. I think it's a different type of adventure. It might not be for every group, but if you want to have a night of really delving into this inn, trying to use everything you can to its best capabilities, having some strong NPCs that you may be able to interact with, use them and get them on your side, especially like the bounty hunters. It's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a cool night. So the only thing I could slide it on is maybe just a little bit more information on the maps would be helpful. I love the fact that the NPCs are all written up. There's no, other than the werewolf lady, there's no, other sinister thing going on. It's a very simple premise, which is quite deep within the adventure. is get those winter coats, survive the winter, fend off against the wolves. They're probably going to try to attack you. But, some people are going to do some stuff that's reckless, and then the shit's going to hit the fan, and you're going to have to deal with that as well. It's got rules in there in case, you need to roll a die in case someone hears a gunshot going off. And you're going to have some groups that are just going to absolutely just want to take it to these guys, and they're going to fight. And so you can fight, and then the adventure will probably go over pretty quick, either your death or theirs. And then you can just go around the building and pick up whatever winter clothes you have and survive out into winter. So it's interesting. There's a bunch of different paths that you can take. It's very small sandbox. And I think it's cool. I like the art in it. I like the bold covers of the front here. The name is neat. And overall, it's a cool little adventure. So I hope you like this video. If you ever pick this up and you play it, I'd love to know what you think about it. Thank you for watching my videos, subscribing to my channel. Please like the video, of course. Share it with your friends, anybody that plays Limitations of the Flame Princess or any other OSR type game or D&D. This could be easily used in any other game, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks a lot for watching.